Okay. So on following our class last week, I was looking at the overall direction of the pair. So I started up on the daily into the 4 hour. So overall bullish. Went down to the 1 hour, overall bullish. 15-minute was bullish, right? So all of that aligned in terms of direction. Then I went into the higher time frame again and looked at liquidity zones. And
what made you choose this as a zone?
Okay, so what made me choose this was that this area over here looked like Times Square or Shibuya Station in Japan with lots of people. So lots of dollar signs. Yeah.
That would mean lots of traders there, correct?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I know, I mean, this is completely subjective, but this is where I put my alert. I've still got it on here. And that's basically what I did, right? So I set my alert on Monday morning,
right,
and then I went to gym.
Right.
I went about my day, closed my phone, didn't look at my phone, and went to the gym. And at the gym, my phone pinged. I literally looked at it and saw that. So what I saw was, I'm actually going to put the replay function on. Yeah. Oh, and then on the Monday morning, this purple line was what I had marked up. So right, I was looking for a push into this zone and then anticipating possible buys from there.
Right.
Okay. So this is what I saw. Okay, so I looked at that.
Right. What time frame did you enter on?
On the 1 minute.
All right. So could you go to the 1 minute? Show us what you did?
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you waited to see it go back up.
Oops. Yes, so I waited for it to go back up. I saw these rejections over here, and I actually entered on, it was this red candle over here, the sell candle.
So then the sell will be lower.
Is that correct?
The buy will be lower, sorry.
I think I've shifted this. I think I've shifted this. So I obviously waited for it to push into the zone, reject here, and then push back out of the zone. And then I would have entered somewhere. Let me just play forward. Okay, so that was the push up.
And somewhere over here.
It was this. That was what I saw.
Explain why that. What was the reason for entering there?
So when we spoke about candlestick anatomy. Just hold, Brandon. This thing is, I just want to see what it's doing here. Yeah, it was that. Okay, so firstly, what I was looking at was, push, pull back to the zone. And then here, okay, so we do not enter on a
buy candle.
On a buy candle. And so the first red candle following these rejections over here was what I bought, basically.
It's interesting because this red candle actually is a rejection to the high. It worked,
Yes.
but it's a rejection to the high. But it goes to
Yeah.
show that, I mean, once your analysis is strong enough that, I mean, realistically, once you react to the best of your ability, because looking at it here, this actually would have been the best potential place to get in if you're looking to get in at a low, right? The next place you could have probably gotten in would have been after the cross, but at that point, I mean, you're giving up at least what that would have been about 30 pips or so. So not bad. What was the total outcome of this trade?
I just also want to mention that, remember last week we were speaking about the ECR, and I actually had it off for, I had no ECRs on my chart.
No EMAs, right?
Yeah, sorry, no EMAs on my chart.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was looking purely at liquidity zones and looking at how probable the setups would be and what the results would be without using the ECR, just
Right.
as a test. This trade was completely random. It was, there was no like heavy analysis that went into it. I was purely looking at liquidity zones and a tap into the zone, rejections, and then pushing out of the zone. And ideally, I probably would have, if I had checked my phone earlier, I probably would have ended up entering somewhere here on a red candle. But ironically, if I would have done that, I probably would have gotten stopped out. So this was kind of like being in the right place at the right time, and kind of just having an intuitive sort of insight about it. And just, I was just like, okay, let's go, because this is what I have been looking for. I was looking for a tap into the liquidity, in and out, and let's go. Okay. And I really wasn't expecting much, as I said to you. But we can probably go back onto the 15-minute and then see what had happened.
As you're seeing, you didn't expect much. I mean, it comes back to what I say all the time as well, where I say that you shouldn't have any expectations for your trades because nobody knows what the market is going to do. Expectations is the root cause of all disappointment. So by having no expectations, you're not going to be disappointed when the trade doesn't do what you wanted it to do. But those types of trades are essentially the ones that really surprise you. When I got my personal best, that 1 to 126 on gold, I didn't expect that it was going to do that either. Right? And this is now your personal best, correct?
Yes, correct.
So
it was completely unexpected.
Right. So let's see how far it went. Let's play it. Let's just play it and let's just let it ride. Play full speed. Play full speed. Right, and you can press and hold shift and the right arrow key. Press and hold them both.
Doesn't seem to be moving. Oh, there we go.
That doubles the speed. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So by this point, you are probably shitting yourself because you are going nuts at this point. I know, I remember seeing it.
I was like, what is this?
Go listen, price going off the screen, you know. And then at that point, I think is where I told you to move your stop to 1,437.40, just to make sure. Because
I think on day one, because this was over 1, 2, 3 days, right? And I think on day one, we were kind of like I was just sitting over here. I was like, okay, we're not really going anywhere, whatever. And then I think eventually I moved it to about here. And then on day 2, we started to see some movement. And, this for me is always a tricky part because I'm like, okay, where do I put my stop? I don't want to get wicked out. Yeah, and I always find like this scenario over here like quite tricky with these impulse moves, because you never know if it's going to, like, how far it's going to retrace,
Right.
because you have these liquidity zones like in between.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I kind of just was winging it. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask Brandon. I'm gonna wing it. And so then I started, I was looking to the left and to
Right.
see where these
Where it could
zones
potentially try
were.
to get to. Right.
So we started to trail like that. So on day 2, I think I was sitting about, no, I was here just below, like 2 zones away from price.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
And then on day 3, was here most of the day. We started to trail to about there. And then later in the evening, I think I shifted my stop to about here. And then I think you pinged me at about, it was like 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, who's this on my phone?
Mm-hmm.
And you were like, check your trade.
Yes,
You need
because
to trail.
you see that drop. I mean, it probably is still gonna continue to go, but you see that drop because it's at an all-time high as of present. You don't want to be a part of, you don't want to see 3, 4, 500 pips and then it drops and it takes everything back from you. Secure it. You understand? Secure it. So how much did you end up closing it out with?
So I think we were on, I just need to check that zone. Let me check my actual trade. This stopped me out at 143,732.
Which is where I said this. I put 143,740. That's what I told you to put, 143,740. So that trade would be a whopping 400 and what?
498 pips.
498 pips in 3 days.
That's crazy.
What was the risk percentage?
I risked 0.5% of
So
the
that
account.
means, so you had a 1 to 49, so 0.5, sorry, 49 divided by 2, you basically made 24% on the trade, correct?
Yeah, correct.
That's insane. And you're saying that it was random. Random in the sense of you wasn't expecting it, and you really didn't. I mean, it just came, right? But isn't that
but also because Brandon, like this pair, you can see how far down it is on my list. So
it's not
for me, like,
trade.
it's not one I typically trade, and also it was the last one that I analyzed. You can see my chart's quite messy, and like I've got all these fuzzy things, and there were all these other things drawn over here, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this zone here because that's what I see, and all I'm looking for is in and out, basically. And I was also looking at the momentum of the candles, because these are quite long, and then we have this big candle here and we had some wicks over there.
Yeah.
So, that's what I looked at. And I was on the floor. I think I was doing sit-ups or something at the gym, and then my phone pinged, and I was laying on the floor, and I was laying on my back and looking at my phone at the end. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let's go. And literally just click the button and put my phone away. I set my stop and put my phone away. 10 pip stop, and that's it.
But isn't that what I've been teaching you all this time?
Yeah, but you don't actually understand it until you experience it in that moment. Because it's one thing for you to say it, it's one thing for you to say it, but for you to actually experience how simple and powerful the simplicity of it is. It's quite profound.
It also comes back to say that, every day is a fishing day, but not every day is a catching day, right? Because you're not going to get trades like this every day. But this one trade makes it worth your while, right?
True.
Because this one trade...
also,
go ahead.
I had 2 losses the day before, so I was minus 20. And then...
Boo-hoo.
And and then the day after this trade, I had also had 2 losses, one on GU and one on gold. And it was, I mean, the entry style was exactly the same, but then you have one trade that makes up for all your losses and some change.
And some change. and some change and some more, because that's what it's about. This is what I've been telling people. Nobody wants to listen to me. You understand? People insist on. There was this dude who came into the live stream I did on Tuesday night and was like, "Why is this dude in a dirty basement?" I'm like, "What?" I was just like, "Wow." Imagine, yeah, like it's like, you never learn. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything. But
Yeah.
interestingly enough, these are the same traders who struggle with things like this because they don't understand that it is about simplicity. The more simple something inherently is, the actually you'll be surprised of how much more effective it can be, because there are not a
Mm.
lot of steps that you need to maintain and monitor to be able to engage and execute upon that information.
Yeah.
These traders oftentimes are the very traders who make this mistake that when an analysis is too simple, they tend to throw it by the wayside. They want to draw this line and this box and that box and this circle and that circle and this and that and the other. And it just makes it that much more complicated for no reason.
Yeah.
You understand?
No, that's completely true because I mean, this was probably it was one of the only trades I took that was literally it was a naked chart. I had nothing on the chart. There was just oops, sorry. I had only had this alert on the chart. There was nothing else there. So I mean, there was no circles or trend lines or support, resistance, nothing.
Which is how it's supposed to be. I see it all the
Mhm.
time as well. The only time you'd see me drawing anything on my chart is when I'm teaching. But if I'm not teaching, I'm not putting anything on my chart. I don't need it. I have been seeing, listen, everything I've been seeing for all these years. You know what makes it interesting, Rivka?
Mhm.
I could understand this, being sketched out about my style if I was the only person being able to take trades like this.
Mhm.
But as you know, that's not how it works at all. Once you listen, if it is you really listen to me and what it is I'm telling you to do, you're not gonna get it all the time, But when you do, when you do, I think you know where I'm going with this. It makes up for everything. It makes it with your while.
Uh-huh.
You agree with that?
I agree completely.
So this is now your personal best at a 1 to 49, which is, I mean, most traders are happy with a 1 to 3. You out here just doing the most, right? So that is a very good congratulations on that. I mean, a 24% return on a 0.5% risk trade is also, that's big news, right? That's really big news. So you can keep that up, but I'll tell you this. I said this to you in the message, and I'm saying it to you here now live. Now comes the hard part. The
Yeah.
hard part is replicating this, doing it again. That's the hard part. Because you've already proven that you can do it. You can hold. Because I'll tell you this, even holding trade for this long, 3 days, many traders cannot do that. Many traders fall victim to saying, oh gosh, I'm holding this trade for so long. Oh gosh, swap fees, this and that. So
Mm.
you've already proven that you can do it. The question now is, can you replicate it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. That's the hardest part because now you know it's achievable, you know it's attainable.
Correct.
This takes discipline
Correct.
and consistency.
Yep. And in a way, it also kind of gives you something to shoot for, because it's like 1 year, you want to break your new personal best, right? You want
Mhm.
to do like maybe a 1 to 50 or 1 to 55 or whatever. But it also
Mhm.
gives you something to work towards. You
Yeah.
understand? Because, I mean, let's be real. Anybody could get a trade at 1 to 2, 1 to 3. Anybody could do that. The question is, can you do this? That's the question. And most traders
Mhm.
cannot, for the simple reason that, one, they don't, they really don't understand that it is even possible. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. This is a 10 pips stop loss trade. Come on. You understand? And I
Yeah.
said it to you in the group that, with the other guys and them I said it to you that, I just genuinely love to see when traders take what I teach and use it. And I mean, it's showing, it's proving its worth here. Not from my trading, but yours. And that is exactly what I want to see. I want to see you do it. I really want to see you do it. And I want to see you do it again. So what we'll do now is I'm challenging you essentially to break your personal best. Now
Oh
you
no,
have to
don't
get
do
a 1 to 55.
no, don't do that.
Oh yes, no. We're not stopping here. You know, have to get a 1 to 55. You feel it, no, you feel it done. It now start. Right? But I'll tell you this, that is how you really keep pushing the bar and getting better by never really settling for, you know, whatever you got, because by doing that, you begin to plateau. And when you plateau, it makes progress a lot harder because the progress is now it's not necessarily moving upward. It's literally just flatlining, right? So don't settle for this as your personal best. Challenge yourself to do more. Because trust me, there's more. You understand? You could get more out of your own trading. I guarantee you that you can get more. You have anything to say to anybody watching on maybe YouTube or wherever? And what advice would you give in a scenario like this? What advice would you give to get something like this?
I think the most important thing for me is just don't overthink it, you know, because I struggle with that a lot, and I have struggled with that before, you know.
Absolutely.
And it's very easy to get stuck into the detail of a technical analysis, or you know, am I doing things correctly? Am I seeing things correctly? Because when you lose a couple of trades, it's easy to get stuck in a rut, you know, and you can spiral very quickly. But my advice would be to just keep on keeping on and just don't give up, because consistency is really key, and practice makes permanent, you know.
Who taught you that?
I'm throwing your own words back at you.
Very good. That's good advice, because here's the interesting thing with that, right? You said that, you know, just keep on keeping on, right? And just, you know, just keep focused on what is important, right? Keep it simple, and that's it. But that is exactly what you did. And that is why you can use that as advice, because now you're seeing it for yourself. It's not me telling you that, you know, you are seeing it for yourself. So I am telling you now, we'll end this YouTube video here, right? I'll post it on YouTube. We'll end this YouTube video here. What I'll do is I really want you to understand that you can do better, and don't think that this is the end, right? And to anybody listening, if you've gotten a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, know that there are bigger trades out here. There are better trades out here. So other than that, guys, I think if you like this, obviously hit like, subscribe. You'll know the usual story. Just leave a comment congratulating my friend here, very, very beautiful trader. Just leave a congratulations for getting a personal best. That will be nice for her, I am sure of it. And yeah, other than that, have a great day, guys.
Wait, I have one more thing to add.
What's that?
I want to say thank you to Brandon, because I know he doesn't like his students to say thank you, but you know, he's very inspiring. So I want to say thank you for your inspiration, and for motivating us the way you do, and for pouring your heart and soul into everything that you do, because you inspire us to be better and to want to be better, and to not be complacent and not get comfortable. And I think that's critical as a leader and as a mentor, because your students, they learn through seeing, and it's not necessarily in what you say, but it's what you do and the way you do it.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that.
No problem. Not a problem at all. You're welcome. So, guys, you know, you heard it there for yourself. Other than that, guys, see you all in the next one.